Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 102-82. We're talking about Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. The score didn't tell the story. It was a lot worse than that. As you guys probably know if you saw my halftime video, it was hard to watch that first half. Um, the scoring for the Miami Heat was really anemic. We're talking about records broken in the wrong way. 7 shots missed to start the game. That was a NBA record for the playoffs. And we're talking about a Miami Heat team that just got pretty much nothing out of everybody. Caleb Martin showed up, Victor Oladipo showed up, and Duncan Robinson showed up in the fourth quarter. Everybody else was pretty much horrible, and that's really pretty much the end of the story there. Now you talking about the Celtics, complete opposite. Jason Tatum had a great game, um, 31 points, bunch of rebounds, just helping his team out the way that he needed to. We had great Jason Tatum tonight. Al Horford, man, let me tell you something. If this holds up, and then Miami somehow isn't the victor at the end of this series, and the Golden State Warriors is, Al Horford versus Draymond Green is going to be something special to watch. Let's go put that out there. Anyway, so back to what we're talking about here. All right, Al Horford was fantastic. 4 blocks. I think he had like 13 boards. Didn't really score a lot, but it didn't even matter because his plus minus was out of this world. I think it was like a plus 37 or something ridiculous like that. He imposed his will. And his numbers didn't tell the story. Though they were impressive, it didn't tell the story. He was all over the place. He was loud. He was blocking shots. He was grabbing boards. He was making people pay. And it was special stuff to watch out there, especially without Marcus Smart. They needed that from him, and he gave it to him. Robert Williams was special as well. Same deal. Blocking shots, pulling down boards. And that's really what it was about. You know, the Boston Celtics went big tonight. The number that they called was rebounding. Let's just try to force everybody who's big up to the front of the line since we're missing Marcus Smart, just like the Bucks did when Middleton was removed. They took a page out of the Bucks, a book, and decided to go big against this Miami Heat team that I told you at the beginning of the season, way back last June, that my concern with the Miami Heat was PJ Tucker and their entire big situation. As good as Miami is, and boy, did they have a lot of talent. The one problem that I have with the Heat is I just don't like their power forward position. They're too small, man. And that had gotten away from me as these playoffs have progressed because it hadn't mattered. Honestly, because they keep running into smaller teams. The whole league is pretty much going small. But once you run into a team like Boston, and they got players like Robert Williams, Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Grant Williams, these are big boys, man. And when you don't have all of your pieces, and you're only trotting out there a hurt PJ Tucker who's already undersized, and Bam Adebayo who I don't know where he is, and Dwayne Dedman who's an average player, you're gonna have a hard time, and that's exactly what we saw tonight. The rebounding difference was significant. We're talking about 60 rebounds for the Boston Celtics. I think the Miami Heat may have had 38 or something of that nature, but you understand that that's what happened to them. They got killed on the boards, Dallas Mavericks style. It was a rebounding extravaganza. That's pretty much what it was. And what you also saw was a free throw extravaganza. I don't think anybody would accuse this game of having free flowing and smooth rhythm to it, because the whistle blew every 2 or 3 dribbles, it seemed. It was awful. It was really awful. The referees definitely controlled this game and made sure that the Boston Celtics kept a firm lead in that first half. And, the whistles kept coming. So there's going to be a lot of people who complain about the officiating tonight. But if the Miami Heat would have hit a couple of shots, it wouldn't have mattered. At the end of the day, the Miami Heat struggled scoring until about the fourth quarter when Duncan Robinson and a few other guys on that team started hitting 3-point shots. And I think that's the only silver lining I can really take from this game is that Duncan Robinson was able to see about 4 or 5 threes fall in this game, which is something that you obviously could see carry forward into the next games. And given the fact that this is a 2-2 series at this point, you don't love that if you're the Celtics. You could live without Duncan Robinson having confidence at any point in time in this series. So all in all, it's a big win for the Celtics, to say the least. This game was so definitely done so soon that I would say the Boston Celtics fans were out of this game throughout the fourth quarter. Like they were there, but you would swear to God they were down by 40 because they were quiet. Like it was already decided the game was done. They were just kind of there, just like chilling, like literally just relaxing and waiting for the horn, because the Miami Heat did not put up a fight tonight. It was really, really bad effort. I got to give Victor Oladipo the credit because he was not a part of that. I thought he was aggressive. I thought he did the best he could out there. Like I said, Caleb Martin is having a really good series. I don't think many people realize it, but he's playing great. And needs to, there became a point in this game somewhere around, it might have been the beginning of the third quarter or something like that, where it became clear to me that nobody on the Miami Heat really wanted to score. No, it was before that, because I mentioned it in the halftime video. So it was somewhere in the second quarter, near the end of the second quarter. It became clear to me that nobody on the Heat really wanted to score the basketball. So a guy like Caleb Martin could have went off for a career high tonight, And you think about it's one of those situations where like maybe a guy like that doesn't realize it in the moment, but like, to be completely and utterly honest with him, he had an opportunity to have a huge game in an Eastern Conference Finals because there wasn't nobody going to score, wasn't nobody going to attempt shots. And if he had dreams of having like a massive game where he just goes for a crazy massive amount and like saves the day, he totally could have launched like 30 shots tonight. Nobody would have stopped him. And that's the kind of night it was for the Miami Heat. It was like all you needed tonight was somebody who had like a selfish shooter's mentality. You know what I mean? To just take over for the Heat. They needed anybody to just be aggressive scoring. That's it. That's all they need. Like if ever there was a necessary need for a pure scorer to just come in and just jack up shots. That's why Tyler Hero fits so well on this team, because that's exactly what he does, and that's exactly what they miss when he's not there. Is anyone, and I mean anyone, who actually thinks, man, let me just fill it up and get some scoring going. They have, when you put together your team and you emphasize all of the intangibles, but forget the vanity stuff that does have value. And I think that's what it is with the Miami Heat. Like they totally forgot to get themselves a scorer. I like Tyler Hero, but I'm talking about like a real starter that's going to be a part of your thing. And I guess he's growing into that. I would say he's growing into that, but obviously as we see, his inconsistencies tell you that you can't rely upon him there just yet. I think he'll be there very soon, though. He got 6th man of the year, but they need to invest in the offensive side of the ball because they don't have enough aggressive offensive players. They play well together defensively. They work hard, but they're small and they lack offensive aggression. So, they're gonna have to find them somebody. They need a Swaggy P type guy. They need just one more Tyler Hero, basically, so they can have another one in their arsenal just in case one goes down, which this one did. Like literally that, man. Just get them somebody, and they'll be fine, because at the end of the day, they have everything else. They need a little size, but that can be fixed with one acquisition. You just get them one 6'10" dude that can rebound the ball. Get them one Kevon Looney, and they'll be straight. That's all they're missing. So I don't think the Miami Heat are out of this series just yet. But my pick of them going to 7 just doesn't feel as strong because they don't really have the size to keep up with this Miami Heat team. And it shows. It's starting to really, it's unveiling itself as we see these two teams with a good sample size at this point. And Miami Heat are just a little too small and really don't score. They really don't score. Now, my issues with the Celtics are the same exact issues. They don't score that much. And to be completely honest with you, they would have lost this game if they would have played against a better offensive team tonight. Jason Tatum went off, but if you look at Grant Williams, he had a real bad shooting night. You look at Derek White, and although I thought he played some of the best basketball he's played these playoffs, he was still terrible from behind the arc. You know, you look at, like I said, as amazing as Al Horford was, he didn't contribute much to the scoring column. Like, they got away with something tonight. 5 for 20 from Jaylen Brown. Like, that was a bad shooting night from Jaylen Brown. His struggles carried over from the last game, and nobody's going to remember it because he got away with a win tonight. But remember what we said about Victor Oladipo in his head? Yeah, he did not have a good game tonight. But I think that you can very easily say he probably shook off those struggles after having a victory in spite of it. So I can imagine him completely being fine for Game 5 and playing well, but he has struggled through these last 2 games. Despite having 40 points in the last one, but we know how that went. 7 turnovers, etc., etc. Either way, tonight was not much better, 5 for 20, so he's got to tighten up. Peyton Pritchard, man, I tell you, I like Peyton Pritchard. I mentioned that I thought that Peyton Pritchard is a player that is going to be much better in the future than his role is showing you right now. But you can see where his game is. He can shoot that 3 ball. He's fast. He has good handles. And he's aggressive, man. He's a real aggressive player. I like him a lot. And I think the Celtics found yet another piece that they're going to enjoy over the next several years. I want to give Boston credit for how they've drafted. I just look at these guys they got on their team that they've picked up, that they've homegrown picked up. Yeah, they did a good job of making sure that they kept the guys that they liked. You know what I mean? Because they had drafted some guys that they didn't love too much. They traded them. And, the people that they have right now that they've drafted, those are home runs, man. There's no way around it. Home runs. So that's what it is, man. If you ask me, the Boston Celtics are definitely in the driver's seat after 4 games. But at the same time, that fluctuates so fast. You know, in this series, we've seen these flip-flops. And I guess what I can say about that is, aside from the officiating being very much a part of this, I think what you're seeing is extreme success with the adjustments made from game to game from the losing coach. These are 2 amazing coaches. And what they're doing is seeing what's not working, adjusting to it, and having massive, massive successes to those adjustments. That's why these blowouts are crazy, because these coaches are freaking good. So what that tells me is we're probably going to see another swing of that pendulum once again as this series shifts back to Miami. And Miami shot poorly. They're probably going to be a lot more aggressive, probably going to ride the crowd a little bit, try to see if they can, get a little more from themselves, I guess you can say, offensively. But I think the Boston Celtics found something tonight. And given how we've seen the success of Kevon Looney and the Golden State Warriors and that rebounding go so well for the Warriors, you almost think that the Boston Celtics should probably mimic it for the rest of this series, given that they had so much success from it tonight. I would continue to use Horford and the 2 Williams, considering, crashing the boards as they did tonight, and then just force the Miami Heat to prove that they can manifest that size. You know what I mean? You ran Dedmon tonight. I thought he picked it up near the end of the game. He's been having a little bit of a slow series, but I feel like he saw a 3-point shot fall tonight. Maybe he did a few things that he liked for himself, so maybe he could start getting it going. But like I said, I look at him as an average player, so I don't have expectations of him being able to hold it down in that way. I would rather not have to lean on him if I'm the Heat, but I do because I need the size. PJ's hurt. We know he's playing hurt. He had a horrible game tonight. Wasn't much help. 20 minutes, didn't score, didn't do much anything. That's an understanding that he's just banged up, and that's because he's banging up against guys so much bigger than him. He's got to deal with the Horfords. He's got to deal with the Williams. This is tough. He's their only true big outside of Bam, and Bam. I don't know where Bam is, but, the frustration level got to be high for a guy like Pat Riley, who's sitting there watching his big just not be consistent. I mean, you show up in Game 3, disappear in Game 4. What are we talking about? Like, which Bam should we expect in Game 5? Are you going to try to score? Or are you going to try to fall back like you did tonight and then you did in Game 2 and in Game 1? It's just like, come on, man. Come on now. We can sing your praises. We can call you out. But at some point in time, we're going to settle into an opinion about who you are. And it's starting to become a guy that we just can't count on. We like him. We know what he could do. Maybe he's good in the regular season. He's going to do a lot of defensive stuff. Whoop, whoop. But when it comes down to it, can we trust him down the stretch when it matters most? And in these playoffs, he is leaving us with a lot to doubt. Whole lot. And that takes me to Jimmy Butler. 6 points, Jimmy? You're the last person I thought would get 6 points in a game in these playoffs. 6 points? I don't have an excuse for that. I don't have any bail for you. You just didn't show up. I don't know what else to say. I can give credit to the defense. Maybe they neutralize you. I'll leave that to a professional like JJ to let me know. But from what I saw, you were just another player down there that wasn't aggressive enough. Period. Same with Kyle Lowry. I know he's fighting back from injury, but I need him to at least let that 3-ball fly a little bit. Your team is struggling scoring the ball. You got to be aggressive, sir. 1 for 6. That's not it. I respect a guy knowing that he can't hit shots and not continuing to brick shots. I definitely respect that. So you not going 1 for 12 is something I will certainly acknowledge. But at the same time, your all-star player, NBA champion, if you're not giving the team what they don't have, then you're not giving the team what they need. A guy like you got to be a solution for the scoring problem. You know, I look at Jimmy the same way. I look at Bam the same way. I look at Max. I look at the whole team on this Miami Heat team, and I say from here on out, if you're on the floor, you have to look to score. Because this we're going to play defense. You ain't a better defensive team than the Boston Celtics at all. You're not stopping them, and they are stopping you. So you need to get your offense together against that defense in order to have anything to go on for yourself. You scoring 11 points in the first quarter. Look, this series is going to end fast. Real fast over the next 2 games if these boys don't figure out a way to score basketball. Period. Tyler Hero or no Tyler Hero, if y'all don't manifest points, there will be nothing to talk about in regards to you. So that's what it is, man. Points, and of course rebounding. I would say don't foul, but it's up to the refs whether they're going to call these fouls or not. I've seen them have games where they let people bump all game long. You watch that Celtics-Nets series, and you can't tell me that there wasn't 30 calls that could have been called per quarter. These boys was just punching each other out the whole series. So when I see games like this tonight, I just say, well, to me, it seems like this entire series is kind of screwed up because the officiating has been so very lopsided from game to game to game in this Celtics Heat series. You see the scores being all kind of funny. You see, as I've mentioned, the evidence of what you think you're going to see based on the game before, giving you the complete opposite of what it is that you would expect. And I just look at the presence of betting, and I just understand that a lot of people are losing a lot of money. And I think that's probably by design, and I just can't shake that notion. So as I watch these games and I see the Celtics have like 100 free throws versus the Heat who have like 10 free throws, I just remember betting takes place. It's happening. This is the era of that. And so goes what you see, as far as I can tell. So it is what it is, man. I'm just gonna enjoy the games, man. I'm just, as a fan, going to appreciate what the fact that we have basketball. But I personally would love for this betting era to disappear just as fast as it came in, because it's icky, man. It's real nasty stuff going on out here. That's all I can say. What do you want me to do? BDF44. I'm enjoying speaking with you all about these playoffs. I thank you for watching me. Of course, we'll continue to follow these playoffs. This series is tied 2-2. This game wasn't much to watch, but I thought ultimately the Boston Celtics need a lot of credit for just staying ready, killing it on the glass, playing defense, and just playing with a sense of urgency when they're down 2-1. You know, playing with a sense of urgency, understanding that they need to win a game at home, not wanting to go back to Miami down 3-1, and they took advantage of every opportunity given to them. You know, and made sure they took a few of their own as well. So that's that, man. Congratulations to them. Game ball definitely goes to Al Horford, if you're asking me. And you know, it's a bad night to be a Laker fan, man. They're getting one step closer to that thing, and we don't like it, not at all. Especially when it looks like they're getting a lot of help. So this is what it is, man. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.